Standard OFTD. Oh, delicious. Hot OFTD. Holy hell. That is so different. It is that kind of burnt toffee. It tastes burnt. The chilled one. Oh, I'm not liking that. Oh, oh, that tastes thicker and all right, we are at -degrees. Oh no, I'm not liking that at all. That is all shades of wrong. Tonight, we're going to be looking at the temperature of rum and how it affects your rum. Now, many of you that drink cognac will know that this is kind of the done thing. You you have cognac slightly warmed, a couple of degrees higher. And while I've done that many, many times with cognac, I absolutely love my cognac. I've never done this experiment with rum. So I've got three things on the go here. I've got a water bath going on there. And I'm sous videing some rum down there. I've got some rum that's been in the fridge. I'm not freezing it. That's stupid. You're never going to drink frozen rum. But there's some rum that's been in the fridge at temperature there. And I've got the rum off the shelves behind me. So there's going to be 4 rums. So we're going to get out to play. I'm going to do it with a spiced rum as well. So I'm kind of intrigued by this. We're going to do a spiced rum. I'm going to do Flor de Caña. We are going to do Chairman's Reserve. And we are going to do a Mount Gay Black Barrel, and it's going to be in that order. So I kind of want a reference, a cross-section of different rums. So I'm going to go through them, 3 rums. But the other thing I want to do, because this is what this is up here for, the room temperature in here at the moment is 16.7 degrees. Okay, so these are what temperature the rums are at. I also want to bring these up to sort of cognac temperature, or traditional sort of room temperature would be 20 degrees. So I've got heat lamps on up here, but the heat lamps are kind of directional. They don't float back there. So I'm going to kind of try and warm them up to 20 degrees as well. So that's what's going on. So let's crack on with the first one I'm going to do. I'm going to do Chairman's White. As a kind of white rum. I just wanted to see whether it affects the aroma, the taste, the smell, all that kind of stuff. So this is, as it is, at 16 point, where is it? 16, so it's just got a little bit warmer there, but 16 point, whatever it was, 16.7 degrees. Let's do a proper temperature check on that. Here we go. 16, oh, it's even colder, 16.2. 16.2 degrees. That's what the Chairman's is in the back here. So should I be warming my rum up slightly, or should I be drinking it ice cold? That's what we're going to find out. So the Chairman's White, I get those sort of classic creamy, vanilla-y. There's plenty of what I would call green fruit on that, apples and pears. Buttery kind of, a little bit of floralness to it. Absolutely. I mean, I love it. It smells absolutely divine. Then on the taste, again, it's kind of that appley pear kind of vibe there. There is a little bit of spice, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of kind of, what I would associate with barrel aging. It obviously hasn't been barrel aged, but it has got kind of that sort of shades to those sort of woody, oaky notes going onto it, but not too much. It is the green sort of fruits that come out of that quite sort of vibrantly on it. Absolutely love that. That's delicious. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that there. And the first one I'm going to get out is in here. Right. So the temperature of that should be about 50 degrees. And it's been 50 points. What's it settling? Say 50.9 degrees. And that's been sat there for about an hour or so. All right. So I'm just going to put this in this glass here and see what this has done. So we've heated the rum up quite considerably. And the glasses aren't too bad here because the heat lamps will come up. So the glasses are actually pretty warm. So I smell. It's a very different smell straight away. I lose the sort of green fruits on that. The vanilla's there, but I kind of want to see more ethanol. Definitely alcoholic. Definitely more alcoholic on the nose. Yeah. It's sort of vanilla-y, a little bit of spice. Taste. Well, way more spice forward. Jesus Christ. You would think that's a spiced rum. That's fascinating. So lots of spice, lots of, a little bit of vanilla, absolutely zero green fruit in that. No fruit at all. It is just spice, wood, unpleasant. I mean, I'll drink it, but it's nowhere near as nice as that. Nowhere near as nice. So let's go for the cold one. What does the cold temperature do? There must be this one at the back here. And this should be at sort of 4 degrees, 4 to 5 degrees. What might help if I switched it on. Now, there we go. Right, let's switch it on. Right, should be for, it's gone down, it's gone down. Oh, it's gone even colder. 2.6 degrees this is. So another one, ice cold. So what is sort of chilling, keeping white rum in the fridge, what does that do? So smell, the green fruits are still definitely there. It's kind of even more tropical now compared to that. I lose that, so I get the buttery creaminess in there, but fruit forward, definitely kind of those apples, pears in your face. Zero, what's the word? Spice on it. Zero wood or oaky barrel nut. As I say, it's not aged like that. It might have part of it in the blend, something come out of barrels, but it's not aged like that. But I'm just talking about. That's really interesting, actually. That really dials down that spice, peppery spice, butteriness, but really brings forward the green fruits and all that. I'm not sure which I prefer out of those two, actually. Very different. I think I prefer the all-roundedness of room temperature in here. Now, there is one last experiment I want to do because hopefully it's number one. I'm just going to leave a little bit of this just directly under the heat lamp, just so I can get it up to about 20 degrees. Okay, that's what I want to do. I kind of want to see whether those 4 or 5 degrees difference, what did I say it was in here? 16.9, I think it was, just on white rum. So automatically, you don't want to be, if you store white rum, especially Chairman's Reserve, but if you store that in a very warm house cupboard, like, you know, automatically, I know that's an exaggeration, 50 degrees, but automatically you're kind of losing stuff. So you can kind of see the temperature does matter. Right, how quick is this going to go? I might come back to it. 15, 16. I'm going to come back to that white rum in a second. So let's move on to Flor de Caña. That's what I'm going to do next. And this is kind of the one that we picked. So I think a few of you might be doing this. So again, this should be at 16 points, whatever it is, 16.9, 16.7 degrees in here. So Flor de Caña, vanilla, wood, dried fruits, little bit of soft spice on that, not too much. A little bit of those leathery vibes off that. But I do get, there is a little bit of, it's slightly different. I wouldn't say green fruit, but it's not, what is that? It's more like a stone fruit, if anything, more like peach and pears, that kind of, peach and apricot, more that kind of vibe. Tastes lovely, smooth, rounded, vanilla, toffee, not too much spice at all, zero spice, zero wood burn. There is on the after palate, actually, when you do that, that's when you kind of get those sort of woody notes for it. But you know, as an I'd call that an entry level aged rum, and I think that does that job very, very well, to be fair. So the second one in that little thing, I'm going for the warm one now, which is this one. So again, As I said, this is 50-ish degrees. In there. It'll be interesting. Obviously, we've probably killed that now, but I was going to say it'd be interesting to see what this tastes like after a few minutes, after it's come down to temperature. But warm. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, alcohol on that. Oh, there is. It's more spice. It is alcohol. Bear in mind, we haven't evaporated any alcohol because the alcohol is all in, there's nowhere for it to go. It's been sous vide. So, the alcohol is still in there. But the alcohol is accentuated on that. Now it's starting to sort of burn the nostrils a little bit. Right. Taste. It's not as nice as that, but I almost get sort of honey vibes off that now. It has got quite those sort of ethanol vibes to it. Again, the quality is absolutely diminished on that. It's nowhere near as what it is on there. I'm struggling to pick anything else. I've got honey. I've got a bit of fruit, but not too much. It is that strong, punchy, solvent-y kind of vibes going on there. Right, let's do the Flor de Caña as a chilled expression. Right, let's bring this right down. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do. I will afterwards, but I'm not going to do this with an ice cube because what happens when you do it with an ice cube? You add dilution to it. So the ice cube in this is completely pointless. It's not a relevant experiment because when you start adding dilution to something, it completely changes it. Not only does it bring the ABV down, which you can argue that's may have done or brought the ABV up, I should say. But this, your ice cube should bring in the ABV down. So that's done the same thing as the Chairman's White. The fruit is amplified on there. Vanilla. Definitely stone fruit, 100% stone fruit on that. Peaches, apricots, more peaches, nectarines. Bit of vanilla. Kind of, there's a sweet that it kind of reminds me of, and I can't think what it is. That smells quite nice, actually. That smells really, really good. But taste nowhere near. The smell, the aroma is really nice. The taste, no. Absolutely prefer that at room temperature. I'll tell you what I should have done. I should have done this. I might come back to... So let's get this one heating up very, very slightly. I don't want to get it because it'll get too hot if I leave it too long in here. So we have got the temperature of the Chairman's White. Oh, there we go. 20.5 for the Chairman's White. So you could argue that's the kind of temperature when you kind of hold it in your hands for a little bit. So 20 what was it? 20.1, 20.2, something like that. Ooh, that's quite nice. Really smooth, really mellow. Vanilla-y notes. I don't get as much fruit, but there is. I'm losing. I'll be honest. I've lost those the pear, the appley pear vibes. So even at that kind of 2 or 3 degrees. Wow. Literally, what, 3.2 degrees difference, 3.3 degrees difference? Absolutely none of that fruit vibe off that. Right, taste. But it is still there on the taste. There is, yeah. Definitely very, very reminiscent on the taste. The aroma is completely different on that. Right, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think I might. I'll tell you what I'll do. Well, let's just have a quick dip of this, see what the temperature is. 17, 18, 18, 3, 18. I'll leave that there for a couple more minutes. Right, let's move on to rum. I'll tell you what, the one I'm interested in. The one I'm interested in is the spiced rum, rum bullion, because that could be fascinating. Right, let's just do the Mount Gay and get that heated up. There we go. Bit of Mount Gay heated up. And right, number 3. Right, I've got these numbered here, so I can tell the difference between the bar temperature and slightly heated up. So this is bar temperature. As I said, 16 degrees, 16.8, whatever it was, something like that. So bar temperature, Mount Gay, chocolatey, nutty, definitely plenty of sort of, what's that? Plenty of toffee, more toffee than caramel, little bit of vanilla. Not getting too much fruit, sort of dried fruit, probably dried, crispy, cakey vibes, but not huge amounts. Delicious. It smells like it's going to be delicious. Right, taste. Soft, easygoing. Not my favourite style of rum. I'm not a huge Barbados rum fan, but that is quite pleasant. It doesn't really give me the characteristic. It's the wood vibe that is sort of coming off there, the barrel aging vibes. And regular viewers will know I'm not a hugest fan of that. I like sort of mellowish rums. Kind of, if I'm going to go sort of that, I'm going to go sort of 6 to 8 year old rums are there. But that's kind of why I've mentioned I really love UK rums, because this just brings something different without them being too old, if you know what I mean. But that's delicious. So that's kind of the benchmark. Right, let's do the warm one, which is not that one, this one. Right, so this one could be quite interesting, this. So, warmed up. That's fascinating, because the alcohol vibes that I got off that, I don't get off that at all. This just smells more toffee, more caramel. Toffee, I'm going caramel. I'm going caramel. There's more vanilla. Smells so different. I lose the chocolate off that. I don't get chocolate at all off this. Sweeter. Smells sweeter. Mate, I tell you what, I'm getting the chocolatey, nutty vibes off this, but I'm actually getting, chocolate. I'm actually getting sort of tropical fruit a bit off this. That's fascinating. Completely different to how the heat affected that. Right. Wow. A completely different experience to the Flor de Caña. I'm not saying that's how you should drink Mount Gay. I'm not saying you should heat it up, but it is not. It doesn't give you the alcohol burn of that. There's a little bit of spice, but you definitely get that more toffee, more upfront toffee. I would say I personally get more fruit off that warmed up than I do at bar temperature. It tastes right, and this is the weird thing, because you would expect it to taste more amped up in alcohol. It actually tastes thinner. It actually tastes not. I don't want to say watery, but it just tastes a little bit thinner. I prefer it as it is, bar temperature, but that's interesting. Right, the chilled one. Which one's this? Rum Bullion, so it must be this one. The chilled one, Mount Gay, which, if you're just watching, this is roughly, say, 2 degrees. Two-ish degrees on here. Right. So, aromas. Well, more fruit, way more fruit. I don't really get the toffee. I get vanilla, and I get way more fruit. I almost want to say coconut. In fact, I'm 100% going to say coconut. That just smells of coconut. No toffee, really. Vanilla, coconut. I kind of lose the nod to the barrel aging in that as well. Those sort of spice wood vibes. I don't get the nutty vibes I get off that. Definitely don't get the chocolate vibes that I get off that. 100% don't get the chocolate. That's bizarre. Right, taste. Let's have a little. Ooh, that's rather nice. Hands down. Hands down. I prefer that one chilled. Hands down. Now, that might be because that's taken away that sort of wood, oak, spice vibe, but that's giving me the fruit. It's giving me more vanilla. There's coconut. I'm not going to say pineapple, but there is coconut in that, massively coconut. Subtle hint of honey. No chocolate. No nuttiness. No barrel. That's really fascinating. That is bizarre. I'm going to, right, where are we up to in temperature here? We are 18. That's better. Right, Flor de Caña's at temperature 20.3. That's right. Here we go. So we've got those temperatures going on. So we've got it effectively 16. Let's just give it a quick temperature here. Say 17, 16.9, 17. Yeah, say 17 degrees. So we've got 17 degrees here of Flor de Caña. Smell and aroma, not too much. Is nowhere near as much difference. Ooh. Ooh, that's different. Even, wow. Flor de Caña brings out the soft fruit, the stone fruit is disappearing. I've got more chocolate, more nuts, more. That is, hang on, I need a palate cleanser. That's fascinating. Right. So we are literally talking, what, 17? We are literally talking about 3.5 degrees. Yeah, definitely. More. It loses the fruit vibe and brings out the chocolatey side of that. I prefer that I prefer that my bar temperature. Just say my bar temperature is like 17 degrees on it. I massively prefer that, like that. Right, we've done that. Let's do the Matt, go. Right, middle one. 2 for the... Yeah, there we go. Right. Again, it smells different. I'm literally talking 3 degrees. That's mental. Chocolatey, nutty, bit of fruit off that. More, I'm not getting coconut off that at all. I'm getting this sort of the more stone fruity vibes off the more what am I calling it? Christmas cake vibes. What's the dried fruit? That's the word I'm looking for. Right, taste. Mellow, quite soft. Right, let's go in for this. Just keep that on. Amplifies the spice. I'm just going to leave that there, actually. Amplifies the spice of that. And the barrel aging. That's fascinating. So again, I'm preferring the Mount Gay. I'm just going to leave that up there just for a couple more seconds. I'm preferring the Mount Gay at bar temperature, 17 degrees. So, right, this is going to be the fascinating one because I'm half expecting, if you're doing this experiment at home with less, how shall I put it, less authentic spiced rums, and this might, I'll be brutally honest, I would probably put this in this category, to be fair. I know full well that this is not spiced up properly. It's spiced up with flavour compounds and stuff like that. When I say spiced up properly, I'm talking like Chairman's Reserve spiced, okay? I'm talking black tears that have actually seen spices. I wanted to do it with a rum that I do really, really like. I love rum bullion. I think it's, for that sweeter vibes, I do really, really like it. But I wanted to kind of see whether less, let's put that there so it's heating up, less authentic spices made much difference. Right, so room temperature, bar temperature. Sweet, orange. It's 42.6%. Tasting some of these, it don't, what's Mount Gay? 43. It's only a shade. But see, this is the difference, right? For any of you newbies watching this is the big difference between sugar and no sugar, because there is literally 0.4% ABV between these, 42.6 and 43, and yet that literally tastes like it could be 25% ABV. That's what sugar does. Sugar kills the alcohol and makes you think it's smoother. All smooth is in relation to this is sugar to take away the rum taste, if you like. That's not a bad thing, because as I say, I quite like it. It's always been up there in my top. It's been up there in my top 10. But let's go for it. So vanilla, orange, sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of clove, nothing major going on. It's just that lovely sort of demerara, orangey, spice, vanilla kind of thing going on. That's what it's going on. Right, so this is going to be the test, the heat one. This is going to be the one what I'm fascinated by. So, have we cooked the spices? Bearing in mind, it's only 50 degrees. Right, have we cooked the spices out? This is going to be the fascinating thing. Oh, let's get down here. I'm quite intrigued by the chilled one, to be fair, as well. Jesus. Wow. Orange and cinnamon has just slapped me around the face. Holy hell. It's like a completely different rum. Absolutely completely different rum. Orange and cinnamon, I lose the vanilla. I'm not even, it's the weird thing, that alcohol bite that I got off these two, I'm not getting off these two when they're warm, which is fascinating. It's just orange and cinnamon. Right, taste. Wow, that's quite nice. Ooh, that is quite nice. I've got a rich, I've got like a really, it's like I've just bitten into an orange sherbet at the back. And I've got this like really sherbety orange that's just come out. A little bit more spice, a little bit more cinnamon, a little bit more clove, a little bit more, what's that? Vanilla's there. Hands down, I'm preferring that. I mean, I love that, don't get me wrong. But hands down, I'm enjoying that more neat at temperature. I can't stop. That's really got me. I can't stop drinking that. Ooh, that's thrown me. I wasn't expecting that. I genuinely wasn't expecting that. Right, and I've just run out of glasses, so we'll have to go for this one, which I didn't use. So I used one up there for Mount Gay, didn't I? Right, so this is the 2 degrees rum bouillon. Chilled down, keeping it in your fridge. This has been in the vegetable part of my fridge, so right at the bottom. And I've got one of those big double door things. Bosch. What is it? Bosch? Bosch? I think it's Bosch. Can't think of words. Big black. I'm sure it's Bosch. Big black double door. Right. So the chilled one. I've lost the orange. Vanilla. Also, I'm getting is vanilla. So it's flatter. It's a lot flatter. That's a kind of a good word for that. Vanilla. The orange is just slightly coming back, but nowhere near as much as that. It genuinely just smells like vanilla spiced rum. Wow, that's where the sugar comes out. Amped up sweetness. As it's finishing, the spices are there on the finish, not in the initial taste. It's all about the finish. It's when your palate warms it up. That's fascinating. So that's totally brought it back. When your palate warms it up, yeah, 100%. It kind of brings it back to temperature and you get those spices again. At that, if you just sipped and swallowed, you don't get any of those spices. It's like a vanilla rum. But when you hold it in your mouth and then swallow, it kind of reactivates that orange, that clove, that cinnamon. I mean, I love it neat, but I think I'm going warm. Totally. Even whatever. I mean, that's been out now for a while. I'm going to do the room temperature one. That's been out a while now, and that's still up to 32, 33, 34. That's still up to 34. So that's died off, 16 degrees. Yeah, hands down. Oh, I love that. Right. The last two I'm going to do. That's number 4. Hang on. This is the Mount Gay. I'm just looking at that. I think that's a bit dark. Right, the Mount Gay still should be 22. That's been sitting up there a bit longer. So 22.2 degrees. Right, the Mount Gay. No, I prefer that. I prefer my bar temperature, which I'm just going to leave this back here. Hang on, let's do the rum bullion just very, very quickly. Rum bullion 20, yeah, 20. Right, rum bullion's good to go. 22. Right, I'm just going to leave that back up here just for one last sort of temperature. Right, the rum bullion, and then I'm coming back to you. I told you it'd be longer than 20 minutes, didn't I? Ooh. That's fascinating as well. Amped up spices. The hotter that gets, the more. And bearing in mind, I don't like, to give you some point of reference, I don't like dark matter. I don't like 500 cuts. I don't like those really vibrant cinnamon, clove spiced rums. I like rounded. I love orangey spiced rums anyway, but I like rounded spiced rums, vanilla. So that's my point of reference. I'm basically what I'm saying is the hot ones, the warmer ones, they're not getting anything close to dark matter or anything like that, but they do give that luscious roundedness. So this is really bizarre, and I think I can remember this in my head. With the white rum, with the Chairman's, that's still on screen. With the Chairman's right there, the two. So even at room temperature in here, 22 degrees under there. So I'm equating that to your houses at home. 22 degrees and the warm one. No, I much prefer bar temperature here, which is just say 17 degrees, but really nice chilled as well. Really, really nice chilled for the Chairman's white. So that can go back up there. The Flor de Caña is pretty much the same. Didn't like it at all. Heated up. You know, there's a noticeable difference between in 5 degrees between under here at 22 degrees and bar temperature, which is 17 point. It's getting warmer in here because of the heat lamps, but 17.8, should we say? It's not hitting 18 degrees. It's not hitting 18 there. So the same with the Flor de Caña. I much prefer that at bar temperature or slightly chilled. But the reverse, well, no, Mount Gay was pretty much the same, wasn't it? Mount Gay was interesting because I got more coconutty vibes off the. I mean, this is still pretty cold, but we're talking. It must have warmed up now. It's about 10 degrees. I just get coconut off that. Lots of coconut off the Mount Gay. I don't know what I said 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. I think the sweet spot. I think the sweet spot for Mount Gay. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Actually, I'm going to keep a very close eye on that. I'm going to see where we're up to temperature wise on that. It's still down. Well, it's nestling about 14, 15, 13. I'm going to give that a minute or so because I'm going to come back to that. The Mount Gay, too cold, does give you the coconut vibes, but bar temperature. But there's a little sweet spot. And rum bullion, I kind of prefer warmer. That's nuts. So there we go. That's my little presentation. Let me know what you think and what temperatures you drink your rums at.